Well, me and Baz have been talking about Castle for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
So we're finally doing it. So we're really just winging it. We're talking about Castle. We're going to have a laugh. If anyone watches, woohoo! If anyone doesn't, no problem. But I see we've already got Hans Scotty, a member of the SAR team out there. Hello, Hans Scotty. How is Valencia?
Right, mate.
And we've also got Ian Brickbrod. Hello, Ian. How are you?
What's you?
And yeah, so how are you, Bazza? Have you had a good day?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, just chilled out. Well, actually, I woke up quite late, so I missed a majority of the King's what's it called?
Coronation.
Coronation. That's it. Yeah, I missed it. So yeah, I watched a little bit on the telly, and then watched Greg and Hive do their live stream for their transatlantic, and just chilled out. Really, spent some time with you for a little while on Discord, and yeah, just feel nice and chilled, and looking forward to chatting a bit about Castle. To be fair,
cool. Yeah, I've been building. I've been shooting some video. I watched a bit of Greg, like you say. I avoided the coronation. I mean, the other half was watching it, but it's too much pomp and ceremony for me. It was a bit like, I get it, and people enjoy it, but I can't be doing with it. About 5 minutes of watching it, I was bored. So
it's not for everyone, is it? Really?
Yeah. I'm not anti-royal. I think they do a really decent sort of. I don't say a decent job because it's not really a job. I think it's important to have it, especially as we're talking about Castle, because it's a bit of identity of the British people having a monarch, and
it's our history, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and also tourism, brings in tourism and stuff. So there's a lot of tourists there today. I've noticed there was interviewing general public. It seemed to be a lot of Americans and European people. So it's nice to see.
Yeah. Insane. Our girls decided it would be better off if they walked quicker. It did take a bit too long. The most fascinating thing I think I took was that they just had to carry on marching straight through the horse muck. They couldn't move, didn't they? I was like,
that's right.
I bet you they spent ages cleaning them boots, and then they go through the horse muck, and then they've got to clean them again.
I do like seeing the King's Guard though. Actually, I got to remember it's King's Guard, not Queen's Guard. Yeah, the King's Guard.
Yeah, King's Guard. Now, yeah.
I love all that. So,
I think they say the whole spectacle thing is brilliant, but it's just a bit long-winded.
No one does it like us, though. No one does it like us.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think they pulled the boat out, didn't they? On this, there was everything.
Certainly did. Yeah, you had a lot of old sort of. Even you think about the history in the throne that he sat on alone. He's 700 years old plus. So, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of history there. A lot of history.
Yeah, and I caught them walking out as well with the crowns on. I'm thinking, you can tell they're heavy. They must have been doing the nutting, literally.
Yeah, their necks must have been like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So, Castle, episode 1, because it's probably going to
nicely. Yeah, nice.
It's probably take us a while to do these because we've got a lot to say about them. So we're not planning on streaming massively. We're going to let it just flow, but we're also not going to do the whole kit and caboodle. And we're only doing Lego Castles tours. We're not doing anything that's been deemed a castle or out like that. We're just doing castle theme. I think is pretty much how a Brickset puts it on.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we'll bring Brickset up. Speaking of Brickset, because that's the best thing to use for these kind of things. And we've got the original, which we're not going to really dwell on it too much because for me, it doesn't mean out to me because I understand what it is, but I never had the Yellow Castle. It was a bit before my time.
You have to give it a nod though because of what it stands for. It's part of our castle, Lego castle history. So we have to give it a nod. This is like one of the forefathers, the forerunners of what we very much love today. So we have to give it a special nod, tilt our hat and say, that's where it started.
Yes, it's pretty good set, all being considered, bearing in mind, what are we, 1978? I know there was a Weetabix thing. You know this more than me, so I'll let you take it, but there's a Weetabix one, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a castle that came out for a promotional deal with Weetabix about 8 years previous to this, I believe. And it was pretty much a basics. It was even more basic than this. There was no minifigs or anything. You did have flags on it. I think they had the British flag because it was only in either England or Europe. Pretty sure it was maybe just England. Don't quote me on that. So it had a little British flag on it, and it was, like I say, a promotional set, and it was in predominantly white, but it had red and blue bricks on it as well. So it was very, very basic. So you could consider that as part of castle, but I really wouldn't until the minifigs come into play, really.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Because they're like those back to those days. You used to get some really cool stuff with cereal, didn't you? You used to be able to fill in the back of boxes and send off for things and all sorts of stuff, didn't you? When we were kids.
That's it. I mean, I remember getting things like the cornflake wheel reflector that you put on your BMX bike. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
It was like in the shape of the actual cockerel, and then it had like a little reflector in the middle. I used to get like the Ghostbuster things. Used to get of them. Willow, they had promotional stuff for Willow and all that. So yeah, I remember all those fondly. All the little figures and that used to get.
Yeah, I think we had a rule where, because there was a few of us, that whoever it tipped into the bowl got whatever was in the box. But we all just used to go through it.
Yeah, that's what me and my brother did. Yeah, try and find it before the others.
Anyway,
that's the best way. Yeah, childhood.
So if you're watching, I'm sorry.
We'll see you saying in the chat. Weetabix is probably a good material to build a castle in.
True, yeah. This is very true.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Sometimes I never even stopped to look at this castle before, as much as I've just done now, staring at the screen, and it's actually really not that bad, is it?
It's not. If you put that in grey, like we know and love, if you put that in grey, it's actually not a bad build. The dimensions of it, the way the gatehouse is, the towers, it's actually a really good build. It's even got a back door on it, so it's got a back area so you can come out.
We love a back door.
We have a back door, yeah. Even the factions. Look, how many factions are there? I mean,
they never did that last shield, did they? Though they never did that one.
No. They just bought the recent Lion Knight castle out with homage paid to the other factions, but yeah, not the one with the cross on the end. I don't know why that may be. An interesting point.
Because it's almost like a Swiss Army knife logo, isn't it? That
it kind of is. Yeah. Very similar to that, or like a Templar type of.
Yeah.
Gives interesting off a Knight sort of feel. But
look at the value new.
But I don't own this. I'm assuming you don't own this neither.
No. You can tell I haven't got me ticked on my thingy.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's good. Cats 1979. There's a few figures. Again, we're not really going to dwell on it too much because this is all before our time. So
Knight's Possession.
We kind of want to talk about the stuff that we know, that we know that we've got in common about us being kids, but we then talk about other stuff that we wish we'd got as well. But the kind of stuff after, before we came into it is not something that I would be interested in collecting. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and buy castle sets, as you well know. The Knight's Possession the joust doesn't really interest me. The brick-built horses, I know there's people out there, especially Ian, who's in the chat, likes brick-built creatures. I'm not a massive fan of a brick-built creature unless it's huge, like a really big build. So, it's endearing, but it's not for me. The coloration's nice and colourful for kids. So I can imagine this would have captured a kid's eye at that age.
Yeah.
But the Knight's Possession, if anything, would be the one that I'd like to have. It's only a couple of minifigs, really.
I remember this tree.
Yeah, do you remember them? Yeah, you can still buy them secondhand. I've been looking out for them, actually.
I think I've got some somewhere.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Is this one, is it, that you like?
This is the little Knight's Possession set, yeah. It's really cool. There's only a couple of
helmets.
Oh, man. Even my logo now that I've made my logo, profile logo's got the bullet helmet on. And I need to buy some more for putting on the newer minifigs now.
That piece was the piece I was on about the other night. I can't watch it. I think it was on the other side when we were talking about it. It's shown up on is it a Dream set or a friend? Or, it's on anyway. It's in one of the new lines up. That piece there.
Yeah,
it's been going that long.
That long, mate. Yeah, I remember them being on a lot of the. We'll probably get to them at some point. A lot of the boat builds, like the Viking Voyager, and you'll see that's where they put the spears through to use as oars.
Yeah, because these bits here fit studs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can lie them down onto things and almost have like it'd be a inverse stud connection of snot, really.
Yeah, because you can put you can put studs on them, can't you?
Yeah. That was a legal technique as well. Again, look at that for new.
Crazy, isn't it? When you look at the prices now.
Not too bad for use, but new. I mean, I know that's not always accurate, but
yeah. Once we go through, you'll start looking at the new sets. Yeah, they're very expensive.
Yeah.
like gold
So on
dust.
to 1981, and the Yellow Castle was still around.
Yeah, it got sort of re-released, sort of pushed promotionally still, because obviously it's pre-Grey Castle era. Knight's Possession came out again as well, so it got re-pushed again.
And the Joust.
And the Joust, yeah. So these are all sort of pre-us. I mean, until you get to 1984, that's when it kicks in for us, really.
Do you know why they re-pushed them the way they're doing, like then compared to what they do now, where they just stay on the?
I don't know. Maybe it's to do with. I mean, you might see on Brickset, there's a lot of sets that are just sold in Europe or just sold in America.
Yeah, maybe that's what that one is.
So that might be the reasoning behind that, possibly.
Yeah, US version. Interesting.
Yeah.
1983. So I don't really remember this one either.
The first battle pack, you could probably call it. He's got to be the first castle or any battle pack, possibly. I imagine there might be a space one as well.
Probably, yeah, there'd have been a minifigure pack for space, I would have thought.
Yeah. How cool is that? I mean, they're not necessarily something that appealed to me, especially the original Knight helmet. Look at the Knight's helmet. That's crazy, isn't it? Like a
no
visor
print on the shield either on that picture.
No, that's right. It's very different.
And he's got a like a woodsman's axe rather than an actual axe. Even then, look at the printing on the black.
Yes, not great, is it? Not great. No, back then it wouldn't have mattered. Didn't really matter to us, did he? But now it's like on the later minifigs, I was using gold print, especially on the Lion Knights and that. It's you wouldn't. They don't do that nowadays. It just wouldn't last. They don't last.
Yeah, I don't think many of them figures would have survived if I'd have had them.
No,
actually, I was quite... as it is.
You converted your figs though, didn't you?
I think I've still got some of the original ones, but I did paint a few of them. To be fair,
no, I kept my figs in prime condition. Everything else went out the window. Really, that was fair game for everything else to get damaged, but not my minifigs.
Another one they've listed weirdly as this one. From 1984. Whoa, that image is good.
That is
printed shields there.
Crazy, isn't it?
The legs look odd on that picture, like it's been stretched. I bet you it's because it's a pamphlet or something.
I think it's the way it's been taken. Yeah, I think these are the ones where you find at the end of the booklet, the service booklets, and you get all the parts that you can buy, send off, and get the parts.
Yeah, I remember.
I think this is part of it because it looks like it from the image with the outline and everything.
It's a long stick. 15 Castle minifigures.
Early Lance, possibly.
Yeah.
There you go. This is the first.
Yes. Which I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't have this one.
I did. Yeah. Remember this fondly.
Also known as the Knight Squire.
Yeah. First peasant, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some of the torsos, but I don't think I got them from buying the sets. I think they came in like a bulk buy once.
Evening Cabbage. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Yo, Aaron's here.
Yeah,
horse, obviously.
This is a cool little set. It's actually one lacking from my collection for no reason. I don't know why I haven't bought it yet. But I really like this set. You get a little black axe, which is unusual. You did get a few sets of black axes, mainly brown though. But it's the shield for me, and you'll see this in some of the earlier sets.
Yeah,
that shield's my favourite shield. It's not even printed.
No, it's unusual, isn't it?
So nostalgic. Yeah, it's very much like an early castle shield. So it's got Viking influence, I'd say, to it.
Yeah,
or sort of Celtic influence.
Alfred the Great type era, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
Nice little use of a roof piece as well.
That's right.
I do like the way they did things back then. Just kept it really simple. Look at that, £405.
Well, it's the first set, wasn't it? The very first set for the Grey Castle era.
The Grey era. Another one I didn't have.
Yeah, I got that one. Lovely, lovely.
Look how shiny that print looks on that picture.
Mm.
It's a nice picture. So even way back in '84, we had Lion Knight shields, blue ones, and we had the first Black Falcon shield. Before they really even done anything with them, haven't they?
Yeah, and if you look at the print now on the shields, it's still, especially if you look after them, it's still top quality. They're really good printed shields.
Yeah, I've still got mine. I've still got some with the yellow edge and the blue edge that are in good nick.
Yeah.
Not so sure what the horse's eye on that one. It looks a bit odd.
A bit misprinted a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, because if you look at the black horse, it's got a white ring around it with the black print on the side, whereas that one's right in the middle of the. If you imagine there's no print on the eye at all, it's got that ridge, isn't it, for the eye print? You can see a ridge on there.
I used to break the clips as well on these things. Drive me mad.
That is one of the worst. Yeah, I hate it. I absolutely hated breaking the clips. It actually broke my heart when I used to break the clips on my saddles. The worst is when you break it on the barding because it costs a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then obviously that's changed now, isn't it? That plume. They don't even do anything like that anymore, do they?
No, yeah. They used to have the first plumes were free plumes. You had the one that they use nowadays for the forestman feather, which is also used for a feather for the quilling ink.
Yeah.
That you've seen in some of the pirate sets. The free feather one, free plume one, and then that big long sweeping plume one. Yeah, don't make them now. They used to come on a little wheel, didn't they?
Yeah, a little sprue.
That's it, sprue wheel. Yeah,
they're worth a few if you've got any of them,
especially white ones.
Yeah, look at the prices of these.
White and black, very pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good little set. These little sets here, and I've mentioned it before in other streams, are great little pocket money sets originally.
Yeah, they could easily do something like that now.
Builder sets. Yeah, they could do that so easily. You've got horses, they've got the knights, they've got the parts. The parts are there. Just need to print up the boxes and you're done. It's easy. People will buy them. They'll fly off the shelf. There's a resurgence of medieval a couple of years ago from the medieval blacksmith set when it came out. Yeah. It's just makes no sense to me.
It's also known as Sir Richard and Black Knight. Interesting.
Yeah, you got different, I don't know if you want to call it lure, but you got the different stories behind things. Like when we get to the Robin Hood, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I remember the Robin Hood stuff. I hadn't until you reminded me that it was Robin Hood back then, because we just got used to hearing everyone say forestmen or forest guardians as they're calling them now. But when we were like kids buying them, it was Robin Hood. Yeah, it was all of the adverts and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, you'll also get continuity errors with a lot of these sets. You'll see the wrong shields of the wrong people and all that. Not so much in the earlier sets, but as you start to get into it, to the late 80s, early 90s, you'll see a lot of shields that shouldn't have been there. A lot of different factions shouldn't have been together. It's they didn't really care, really, Lego. They just put things together because kids didn't care. They come up with their own stories.
Yeah.
Love this one.
Yeah, this is great. I wish I'd got this one.
Yeah, you can still pick it up for a good sort of £20-25 now. I've got two of those ones. They're really good.
Also known as Men at Arms. Just nice and simple. Again, they could do this dead easy.
They loved the cart back in the day. You'll find a hell of a lot of carts in the 80s.
But that's a bit like cars in it in city and or little like flying spacecraft in space. They're easy to do, aren't they?
That's it, fella. Yeah, that's what it's about. Just these small builds. They're mobile, maneuverable, and something we'll get into at some point is the alternative builds. I guarantee you turn the box over on the back of this set, and you've got loads of different little builds for it.
Loads of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is a nice little thing that they did. Look, because you got the saddle as well. So if you took the horse off the cart, you could the saddle. You could put his shield on.
That's it. Spear. Yeah, you can imagine taking the horse, feeding him, taking him to the water's edge on a river. When you've uncoupled him, another one of the knights could have jumped on the horse, to ride it, while the other one repairs the wagon. It's all little things you could make your own little stories up, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Just from that set alone, without even adding any sets to it.
And the box art as well. I still think the box art is one of the best that they ever did for this, because you don't really look at it, but you know about it. Like, it was good when they did the 90th anniversary box art, and just the fact that you've got the strip, you've got the little sun sort of either rising or setting, whichever way you want to look at it.
It's iconic to me. Like, one of the biggest things when the new castle come out was the box had to be right. And they hit it at the park. They did exactly what I wanted them to do as someone who's very nostalgic, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Even in the catalogs, the old original catalog, you used to get these. The smaller sets, you didn't get a catalog. You used to get like an A4 sheet that you'd have to open up, and it'd have the sets on now. But yeah, the actual catalogs, when you're flicking through it and you see the little dioramas, the yellow backgrounds, just so iconic.
Did sometimes you have the instructions on the foldable thing, and on the back was the picture as well? I can't remember.
Yeah, on the really small builds, like the really small carts, they would do that for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I like this one as well.
This one I adore. Yeah, I've got a good couple of these ones.
Using the Technic wheels as well.
Yeah, it's very different. You would expect them to use the wagon wheels like they did with the siege weapons, which you'll look at later. But with this one, yeah, it's very different. It's the only time they ever use those Technic wheels for a siege weapon. But,
interesting choice of green and white flag as well.
Yeah, the first Black Falcon set, really, theoretically.
Yeah, black helmets, but none of the shield that we already knew that they're obviously designed because they've got it on their front.
Yeah, and the flags, as you pointed out, is very strange. Again, I talked about continuity errors. You'll see that a lot of the colours of the flags are very mixed up, that you wouldn't expect one faction to have over another.
Yeah,
but you'll see that as we go through them.
Can't remember what kind of connection that was, but I remember the older type click connect.
Yes, it's got the 3 knuckle and the 2 knuckle connection. Do you remember those ones?
Yeah. I've still got
like
some.
a 2x1 with a 3 knuckle, and then the black part with the shovel has got a 2 knuckle, and they clip in together. And then you just got the join on it. Just want to say hello to Brickset out there, and Mitty Bricks. Thanks for joining us as well, lads.
Yeah,
I appreciate your watching us. Just having a little chat about Castle Lego, informal chat.
Little baby Sar.
Yeah, little baby Sar.
Oh, look at all the stuff. I know when I missed out on loads of this stuff. I don't know why. Yeah. I'd have probably already rebuilt my castle by now, but look at that.
Awesome, man. I didn't have this one, actually, when I was younger. It was one of those sets I didn't have, and I still don't have now. It'd be a nice set to get. And it's probably, you could part this out and make this set, because there's no real special pieces in there.
No, that torso's pretty cool, though, isn't it? Because it looks like he's got like is it the brown cape, but as a bib at the front of it?
That's the one, yeah. It's got the brown bib at the front, yeah. But yeah, you could part this out and make this quite easy if you really wanted to. If you didn't want to have the instructions in the box.
I like the way he's got the wheel up and he's repairing that.
Yeah, it's a cool. And you got to remember, these are all modular as well. If you have a look at the bottom of that build, you see there's a little Technic ping area.
Yeah, to clip it on to the others.
So they can all connect together. That's another good thing about the castle back in the day.
I always wish they didn't, like, even now, do like a horseshoe piece as an accessory type thing. It'd be cool to see.
Oh, do you know what? I didn't even think of that. That would be awesome to bring out an horseshoe piece. Even now. I know back then it would have been good.
Something I could use, because I was obviously going to do the stables right near the gate, but I haven't really thought of what possibly you could use for it.
Do you know what? You're onto something. You could even put them on the bottom of the horse's feet, couldn't you, really?
Yeah.
If it had a stud part on it where you could, yeah. Do you know what? I think you're on something there. That would be really cool to have a horseshoe piece for sure. Even if you hang one on the wall in the background or something, like in the build. I think it looked really cool.
And then obviously you've got using these great big the grey pieces, which were just like brilliant because you could just build it. All you needed is your 1x2s and you were off.
Yeah, very basic builds back then. I still prefer, even to this day, the original classic look by using those larger panels. Yes, they get scratched up. Yes, the printing comes off, but so does the real life castle wall. So
yeah,
you can just sort of say, yeah, they've had many battles and that's what's happened. They don't need to be pristine nowadays.
That's the only thing I don't think they really did on the 90th that they could have done. Not a panel, but just somewhere done a little bit more of a nod, either a print or something.
Yeah,
on one of the on a new print on a 1x2 of cobbles or something.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Totally agree.
Mr. Daniel August Krent seems to have done a lot of these. Oh, Siege Tower. Have you got this one?
I have got it. It's probably one of the newest sets that I have that I bought recently. I say recently, last year. I've got it all in the box, and it's probably only been taken out once. And it's got all the plastic wrapping with because when you remember, we'll probably get to it. The box lids that you open up and you look inside, and you had a plastic part, and then it had like the shields in an area, the head in the area, the minifig broken up, but it was all packaged so you can see it nice and neatly. Awesome these size packaging sets. But yeah, this is one of my favorite sets. Again, I had this one and the battering ram, which we'll get to in a minute.
Did that have did it have a winch on it then to lower the ramp, or was it like a brick? Sometimes it was just a brick and string.
I can't remember because I've only taken it out once to look at it, but I've not built it since I've had it. It's sitting in its box still. I don't really want to take it out for whatever reason. I
Yeah.
can't remember if it's got a winch on the other side. I don't think I want to say no.
Yeah, it
Off
doesn't
the
look like
top
it's
of my
got room
head.
for it. Like that one's did that a lot where they jammed one
Yeah,
end under
just
the
jam one
plate.
end and then you can
And then,
wheel the other. Yeah.
yeah, and the other was just on like a Technic brick or something, and you
Yeah.
had to pull it down and clip it down here to get it to
Yeah,
pull the ramp up.
I want to say no, but I'm starting to think maybe there is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if where the winch would be. There is
I'd love
enough
to be
room
able to
for
get
one.
mine's all packed away. I would grab it out and have a look, but
Yeah. Again, a nice little touch of putting the black inverse slopes rather than and marrying it up with a hinge rather than having the plain grey.
Yeah, because it would look very boring. Yeah, it looked very boring if it was all one colour, wouldn't it? Having the black just breaks it up a little bit.
On a green plate.
Yeah. The old grey. I used to love the old grey.
And then, of course, you can just see the pin where that would have clipped on. So you could have built up quite a lot of these. Again, I don't know why I didn't pick up some of these ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Even then, look at the modern way of doing the plates down the side as well.
That's it.
You didn't often get that even in space back in '84. They were already thinking of building on the side. Look.
Well, this one I would have considered to be like a birthday present set. It was a little bit too big for me to want to buy it with pocket money because there was too many sets out, and it was too small for a Christmas present one. So this would be like a birthday present set when I would have got mine.
Yeah, $15. So I don't know what that would have equated to.
Well, 14 quid roughly, I'd imagine. 14, 13 quid.
A bit stronger back against the dollar though than those days, weren't we?
Yeah,
we were nearly half at one point when I remember. But now it'll cost you £635 if you want it brand new. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. So I don't think they're in the order of the release of the year because I don't remember these ones coming out before the other ones. But this is obviously the original.
Yeah, 1984. So yeah, they would have come out this year or that year, probably all in a batch at the same time, roughly. This for me was one of the iconic ones. This is very different, the way it opened up, because when you open it up from the back and it goes flat, it looks bigger than it actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, the hinge pieces are in a weird position, aren't they, on here? So that's actually going to extend in front of the gatehouse, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it actually comes on the outside. And if I remember rightly, this one, just looking at it, I'm sure this one does have a winch on it.
Yeah.
It's on the other side. So see, it comes through the wall on our nearest side. On the other side, I'm sure there's a winch on it.
Yeah, there might be a tire knot on the end of that headlight brick and then come through that bit.
Yeah.
Green and white flags as well. Interesting. He's only got the one green flag.
Black Falcons. The white flags are really quite difficult to get. Even now, when you go on places like eBay and that, and you want to buy just the white flags, people are asking for a lot more money for them, and they're usually genuinely yellowed or chewed and stuff like that, which is a bit nasty. So the only way you really get them in better condition is if you're buying the set as a whole.
Yeah, this image has got the castle system on it because they're obviously talking about the fact that you can plug them in. But look, endless building possibilities. See the backside of the package, so they'll still have had alternate builds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and but it all depends on the packaging as well, because, like I said, in North America and the UK, it would have been different, slightly different box packaging. In terms of what
I don't think we'd have had that written on the front of ours, would they?
No, that's right.
That is cool.
That is an awesome set.
Interesting as well to go with the red where they made that choice.
Yeah, I like it. It sets it off, makes it different. Yeah. It's not all one color, so it looks plain. I mean, you've got to remember these are children's toys at the same time as that we're looking at it, and it's nice to have a little bit of realism to them. And by breaking up just the one color of having like old grey, so having those red arches just makes it stand out a little bit. You'd expect them with Black Falcons to be maybe a blue arch.
Yeah, when they moved back to the yellow, didn't they, later on?
That's right, yeah.
$27 on this one. 1,434.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go. They're protagonists.
The daddy.
Yeah.
This is my first castle, my first love. And then you managed to pick it up again, haven't you, since?
I have, yes. I got it again. I waited a long time because I wasn't planning on buying all the sets from the first 10 years from 84 onwards. But I waited and sat on my hands till I got this. And it was just before I remember the new Lion Knights Castle come out, which this is based on, and it just come up on such a good deal. I had to buy it. I never had this as a child. This would have been out of my realm of possibility to buy this. My mum and dad would never have been able to afford this, as well as other toys for me at Christmas. This would have just been that one toy and nothing else. And they like you to have more presents than just the one present. So yeah, I never had the pleasure of this, but this is massive. And I can imagine if I had this, playing with this set, looking at it now, I would have played with this for hours. If I can play with hours with just a cart, this I would have just blown my mind. So, and you said you had this set, yeah?
Yeah. I got it for I think I got it for Christmas.
Look at
it was
a
Christmas. It was either Christmas or birthday, but I definitely got it as a main present. This is the one which was in the toy shop that
oh yeah, I remember the story. Yeah, I remember the story you telling me about that. Yeah, it's fantastic.
So I used to go and sit, and so my mum used to go into the town every Wednesday to do a coffee morning with her friends, and we'd go to different shops. And one toy shop I could stay in for a little bit longer while they were, nearby, and I just used to sit and stare at this castle. And the guy at the toy shop would bring it down off the shelves and so I could flip the lid open.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, obviously, I went in and it wasn't there anymore, and I was like gutted because the toy shops didn't have multiples of big sets like this. They just had like the one castle set in there, and that was it.
The one big one.
Yeah. He had all the Kenner Star Wars figures on the left-hand side as you walked in the door, on a rack.
Yeah.
I used to go in there and look at them and then go to that bit. But yeah.
If you ever get to purchase this again, I hope you do, because I can imagine this would be a big one for you to have. And if you keep your eyes open, you might get this a good deal. I'll try and keep my eyes open. But what I will say is, if you ever look at the alternative builds, this is really cool because there's a lot of bricks there and there's a lot you can do with it.
Yeah, it's one of them ones where I probably would quite like to have got one sealed in a box and then just left it in the box. It's the weird thing that I never ever do with Lego, and that's not open it. This one probably would if I got it later on, or I just thought, right, I'm spending big bucks. But I did have the joy of getting this one out at the vault in Billand. So you can go down into the vault if you get on the tours, or you've got whatever they do now. I don't know if they take people down on like a bigger pass for the Lego house. I'm sure they might do, and you can go down and you can ask for which year and they'll open it up, and then they have all the sets from that year. So I looked at them all, but this one was there, and you could lift it down, you could lift the lid up, you could, they weren't all like got to put gloves on and faff around with it. You could just literally get hold of it and look in there.
Look how many Lion Knights you get as well. 2 different torsos.
Yep.
All those different.
It never really dawned on me about the axes either in the when I was a kid.
Yeah.
No, they were just all part of that.
Some people think they're different factions, but I believe, and I'm pretty sure, they're the same faction. They're the Lion Knight Crusaders. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you look, it's almost like the saying archers are going to have the lion on the front. Anybody who's sort of man at arms, battle, spear, shield, whatever, they're going to have the axes, and then the knights are going to have the breastplate.
That's exactly how I've got them set up there.
Yeah.
Exact same way you described.
Even then, look, the archer down here has done the same thing.
Look at the colour of the flags as well. Red and yellow.
Red and yellow.
Sweet. The red and yellow, yeah.
Black saddle, white saddles, 4 horses. There's a lot with this set.
Yeah. Special
so
set.
You pretty much had everything you needed from it.
Yeah, apart from a protagonist, which you can buy in smaller sets.
Yeah.
This has got everything you want to play with for hours.
Not a lot on the inside at all, but we weren't really bothered.
Yeah, no, you could build mock yourself into it, can't you? And build your own little thing inside it.
I'm not sure I ever did at first. I think I just used to play. I know later on I opened it up and I built, the Forestman hideout set.
Yeah.
I had 2 and I built them on as either side coming off these. It was meant to be, this was kind of made it look like a lion's head. It was probably really crude. In my imagination, it probably looks fantastic. And so it was opened right out, and then there were the paws, the 2 sort of cave rocks with the paws.
Yeah.
Just what I did.
I think there's a prison in there. I'm sure there's a prison in this one.
Yeah. I think there was, but that's about it. There wasn't a great deal in it.
But again, you can open it up and add to it.
Plenty of places to pose figures for a start.
Yeah, exactly. You got the little forefront. If you look at it was on the base plate, wasn't it? It was on 3 base plates. And
Still
you got
them
the
base plates.
front area, so you can sort of put, you could put ladders up against the wall if you wanted to. You can have fight scenes at the front. There's so much you can do with this.
So I had this, and then I got something later on, which then changed how I thought of this, because I hadn't even realised that you could like plug stuff on. But that'll be coming up in a minute. But look at that. It was about it wasn't a huge amount of money, but it would have been back then.
For parents in the 80s, yeah, it would have been.
But now they're saying you can get them new, 51, 58. I'd like to know where, but
yeah, that's a mispress. 1,158.
It's
got to be in it.
Unless somebody's put it up on Bricklink and they should have never done.
Yeah, there's that possibility as well.
Castle figures.
There you go. Yeah, little battle pack.
Didn't have this one either. I didn't have many of the ones with the grey shield.
I don't remember this battle pack. I don't think this is it could not be a UK one. This battle pack. Our battle packs come with the yellow backgrounds. I'm pretty sure I don't recognise this one.
Unless it was actually at Legoland with it being a card.
Possibly. Yeah.
Could have been at Billand, couldn't it?
Don't remember that at all.
No.
If you look there, you can see a torso we've not actually mentioned yet, which is the breastplate.
Yeah, well, it was on the last one, wasn't it? The breastplate one when it came in.
On the Knights, yeah, that's right.
That was cool that you suddenly got the breastplate.
That's right.
And then they went and did an actual proper breastplate, and you were like, "Oh, this is better."
Yeah, yeah, you put over the top.
Hey, they've got the blue outline on their shields.
Yeah, the original blue.
Nice. What time? Oh, we've done quite well, haven't we? 1985.
Yeah. Done the first year there. Well, first proper year for us.
Black Knight's Treasure. Again, another great little set. Do you know, if we knew what we knew now, we'd have just gone and picked them all up, wouldn't we, to be fair?
Oh, mate, massively. Again, I had this set as a kid. When I look at it now, it looks kind of out of place a little bit. It looks like it should be an earlier set to what it is, like a year previous, because it looks like very much like the first set. You know, the one with the peasant?
Yeah.
That we looked at. It kind of looks a little out of place, this one. But yeah, again, I had it. It was a really cool little set. Played with it for hours. So basic, so simple, and it just works.
Yeah, interesting that you got the yellow piece there and the yellow saddle. That's quite like cute little nod that I didn't notice for. I don't remember many treasure chests being all grey either.
I'm just reading what cabbage you're at, sorry.
And the horse is giving the thing and the eyes to say, "You're not putting that on me, are you?"
Yeah, he's hoping there's some sort of treats in that.
What's that tool saying?
Apples and stuff in in the chest. I was saying, no, castle we just looked at. He wants to sit in PP City.
PP City.
PP City, eh? Long live PP City.
Okay, is it Emoji Central in there?
Oh, mate, they're going mental. I've just been watching them and they're just going mental with the emojis. They're enjoying themselves.
Just bloody kids.
So, yeah, cool. Another cool pocket money set.
301 new. Crikey. Oh, I did like this one. This was one I really wished I should have got this one. Look at how many horses.
Yeah, 5 horses. 5 horses in a small set like that.
How much is a horse now on when you buy them from Bricks and Pieces?
I don't know. On Bricks and Pieces on eBay, you're probably looking at about £7 to £10 for an original horse, roughly. Brown ones are a lot more.
They're about £5 or £6 at least.
I'm very fussy with buying old school horses. That actually, it can be a breaking deal for me to buy a set if the horses are disgustingly dirty, especially the white horses. Even though you can wash them and clean them, it's still a deal breaker for me. The white has to be as white as possible.
White isn't white. You need the Daz effect. Do you remember the Daz adverts?
The Daz adverts, yeah. Especially inside those legs, though, because you get all the dirt build up inside the legs. You know the parts on the inside? Yeah, nasty. But yeah,
these were slightly too easy to pose than the new ones as well because they didn't rear up.
Yeah, it just didn't need to do anything. Just the head moved. But what made me laugh this particular set, actually, because again, I've got this one recently. I didn't have this as a kid that I can remember. Is the what they called that keeps the horses together? What they called?
I don't actually know the
the strapping, the webbing that keeps all the horses together. When you try and pose them, because of the way that's brick built, it's not like one piece, it's all brick built. The horses all fly in different directions, so it takes you ages to put them down on display. One sits up, and when you put that one that sits up, and then the back one a rear up, and then you got so you're forever fighting it to put them down. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. Is it all connected to that one hinge? You don't have a second one in there, does it?
Yeah, it's a second one, but it's remember those joints I told you about with the 3 and the 2 ball joint things that go together. Yeah, it's those on 1 by 6 or 8 plates.
I do remember playing with one and pushing this, and that they just flew everywhere because they
do.
It's just the plate's not the best thing to have connected.
No. Cool figs though. You get the archer sitting on top. Saying, well,
4 figs, 5 horses. Like you say, if they're like £6 to £7 brand new, the new horses.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much this set would? Everyone would go mental, wouldn't they, if they're charged?
Special set, absolute special set. Even with like blue on the cart, it's not my first choice of color that I choose to put on that cart, but it just for whatever reason it works. It's early 80s.
They could easily price this set at 40 quid if they redid it. And
right, you think how much would that be now? If they was to make that now, how much?
About 40. They could price it at 40, if not more.
Quite easily
because of the horses.
Yeah, molded creatures
and 4 figures.
They're what, like £5.50 on Bricks and Pieces now for the horses?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Something like that.
Yeah, I bought a couple yesterday. So you want 5 of them? They're like 25 quid the horses alone.
Yeah. 4 figures on it.
Takes you up to what, 30, 31, 32?
I remember what that bit was, the little hinge bit there for.
I think it was that one with the little, how can I put it? It's like a 2x1 and it's like a recessed one that sits in and it hinges up and down.
Yeah, I know what it is. I just can't remember what it did.
Oh, yeah. Behind it is a flag. I think there's a flag on it. Can't see my one from here. Yeah, I think there's a flag on it. It's got one of those antennas with a flag hanging out the back.
So he's not paying attention. He's doing one. He's seen him, but he's grinning like he's going to shoot him up the arse, isn't he?
It just reminds you of Dances of Wolves.
Yeah.
With that geezer.
Yeah, that guy, right? Yeah.
Don't hurt my horses, I think he says, or something.
Yeah, brilliant. And what was it? I didn't tell you what it was priced now, but £52, probably not too bad a price for a used one. 556, a bit too much.
Yeah, just a bit.
Castle minifigures, which I don't think
the one.
I ever had this as a box set, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I did. I had a few of them. Yeah. Actually, some of my original figures are from this box set that I still have today. Yeah, remember this one because we'll get to it, but there's another one of these with the Forest Man in it.
It's the other one that I had loads of.
But this one goes for big bucks if you can get this brand new on the aftermarket, brand new in box. This, just a couple of minifigs. This is what we should be having today.
Yeah, this is what dead easy for them to make and put out in it. It saves them having to do loads of Bricks and Pieces orders.
But how cool is that? Just you got a plain background, you've got minifigs in the forefront, and the Lego logo, and it's just so eye-catching.
Pack, isn't it? Instant battle pack. But
it's so eye-catching.
Yeah, for a kid who sees things on the Twitch and YouTube of people creating armies, they want to recreate it. They can't do it; it's out their reach. But at least if there was these kind of things, they could just get a few packs and
maybe we should
pocket money in it.
Start a campaign up like M&R did for the 501st, because I'm sure if Lego actually listens, they would do it if they listened.
I just don't get why they wouldn't, though, based on the success of everything else, knowing, because they must be sat there at the raw data, and me and you were both on the Facebook pages, we're both on the Instagram, and we see people's orders, because since that bestseller came out with the Lion Knight's torso, every man and his dog's posting pictures.
That's it.
So they must be able to see what, digitally, what torsos are going out and think, why don't we just do this?
Yeah, putting them on Bricks and Pieces is one thing. And okay, it's a lot more accessible now. And they don't seem to be running out as what they did originally with like the Black Falcons, for example. But if they was to put these in boxes and sell them in the stores, and people will just lap them up like they did with the Star Wars ones. People will lap them up, especially now medieval, right at this moment. is still hot. It's still hot, and they need to come off the back of that castle with more castle sets, and it'll stay relevant because people still like army building, and this is for the army builders out there. Not that we're army builders, but for them, there you go.
It'll stay relevant because adults still, these adults that like us that grew up with Castle have got probably at the point when we've got a bit of disposable income that we want to spend on collecting stuff, or again, if you're like me, creating scenes and doing some mocks, so you're going to spend money on it.
Yeah, the box for me as well. The box means as much to me as the sets themselves.
And like I said, there's no real effort gone into that box, is there at all?
No,
don't need to.
On the back, if I remember rightly, it was like an old picture, the Nolan picture,
right?
The figures. So you had the head, the torso, and then you had the weapons splayed out behind them. Yeah, really cool picture actually. It's one of the first Nolan pictures I remember actually being on the box art.
And on to 1986, Mexico 86. Remember it well?
Yeah, I do. From the Kinder Eggs, you used to get the little Mexico figures. Don't know if you remember them.
Now, I haven't put this as earned, but I know I did actually have that.
Yeah, I didn't have this set.
Yeah, I did have this one.
Yeah, I didn't have this original. I certainly have the 2016 version, but I certainly didn't have the original of this one. And it's one I should have had because it is pocket money set and it's so cool. Super cool. I'm actually gutted I didn't have the original. Yeah, and I still don't have it now. And I should have it in my collection.
And put the little blue cape on him, interestingly.
Yeah, a little blue cape. Yeah, I don't know what that signified. What do you reckon that may have signified, the little cape on him? On a normal soldier. Unless
they just had a new mold and they needed to justify it in sets, I don't know.
Yeah, and you notice the Lion Knights are wearing grey pants, something slightly different.
Yeah, that's strange, isn't it? I like the fact that as well, this hasn't really changed, has it, since all those years ago, the quiver and the bow.
Yeah, I think what they should have introduced when they brought the crossbows out is to bring a side quiver out that you could put, how you can put over the top of the legs and then the torso on top of that.
Yeah.
So they have it a side one. And I think they should bring that out for the crossbow ones they should have done. I think that was a missed opportunity because that would have been easy to do. But yeah, something about the quiver and the original bow. Just love it so much. It's just awesome.
Nice little set. Of course, set you about £206 new.
Yeah. £16, not bad.
£2.50 back in the day.
There you go, pocket money set. Cracking set.
That's actually a lot when you think about it. Back then, because I remember we used to get about maybe £1 a week.
Yeah, it depends on my age. I know it went up to £3 and then £5, but that was when I was about 8 or 9. So at this age, at 86, I would have been 5 years old, 6 years old. So
I'm sure if I'd have been with grandma, granddad, or nana and granddad and said, "Oh, that looks really good," they'd just gone and got me it.
Can I go shopping with nanny and granddad?
Yeah.
That's what we used to do in Tesco's. Because Tesco used to sell these. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. First time we see the maiden. I've got a red one of them somewhere.
Yeah, first time female. Again, I had this set as a kid, but I don't have it now. It's one that I need for my collection. Look how many horse and cart sets we've seen so far. Only in 86. Only in 86. That shows how popular these little horse and cart sets were.
I looked better on that horse as well.
Yeah, I think it's just
she's slightly underguarded, I think, having Treasure and a female, and then she's just got him.
Well, it depends on the importance of her. Was she really that important? Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it says maiden, so that was
maiden
fairly important.
Yeah, underguarded. But I suppose again, you add this to other sets, and you can protect her. I suppose with the other knights, like the joust sets, that kind of thing. I don't know. It's a cool set though.
Nice simple build look, little side bits, not a lot of stud connection on the top, and it hinged back to it so you could get air in and out because of her big hat.
It's clever, isn't it? With just those side panels, the flags as the side panels. It just works.
And a lot of kids wouldn't need an age or anything on this because they just put it together and it'd have been great.
Yeah, exactly. Again, alternative builds on the back, I'd imagine.
Grey as well, on the front. Yeah, there will have been. It was pretty much one I should have got. I should have got this one.
I've got a picture on Instagram of my mum, my brother building a Forestman set. And when they was building that at Christmas, I was building this, but I was taking the picture. And I'm gutted I didn't have a picture of me holding this set that I built, because this was one of my favourites as a kid. The only time you got the printed Lion Knight. Yeah, the printed Lion Knight.
The printed flag, yeah. But that's worth a bit now.
You think all the weapons you get it. And also the specialist weapon, which is the black sword. There's a black sword in this set, and it's the only set you got a black sword in.
You can't see it on here, but it's just hanging down off the horse, isn't it? He's got it on his
clip. No. It's clipped on behind the cellar. See where the cellar is?
Oh, is it there?
Yeah, just behind him, yeah. That one's a grey one on the horse. Yeah. Very, very special set, this one.
Well, they didn't even show it, and he had a black sword.
Yeah, black sword. Yeah, black.
What are they?
They're, I believe, goblets.
Ah, yes.
They're goblets that you put.
You didn't get many in that colour either.
Not in red and blue back then. No.
Tiles across the front, yeah.
Yeah, a little weapon rack. So cool. And again, it's modular, so you can put in the blacksmith to this one. You can connect it all together with other sets.
A nice red sloped roof, which they come back to later on, don't they, in the line, to give a bit of a nod to.
They do, yeah. I love those little nods in the later sets for sure.
Armory with busy armor, also known as.
I like the fact they're selling a Black Falcon shield in there.
Yeah.
Even though it's a Lion Knight, you could say
he's like coming here going, what's going on?
Yeah, I'll have another shield, please. I'll have the Lion Knight one.
679.
Yeah, it's one of those sort offs. It's the black swords and the flag, the Lion Knight flag.
He got red pants on and a red cape as well, with a blue, almost like a blue falcony colours.
Yeah,
it's really
I think
mismatched, isn't it?
I think it's red pants with the black belt, waist belt band.
Yeah,
and then the blue.
Little
very mishmash colour. That's why they've probably got different shields there. So he's just making do with what he can get his hands on, I think.
Yeah. Here we go. The good old guarded in.
Now we're talking special.
Yeah.
This is a different level, this one.
Yeah, this is the one that I clipped onto the side. When I realised you could clip it onto the castle, it's like, I started putting interiors in, because I realised, why didn't you've got anything in the castle that they can actually sit and drink and we used to play like cities, but my house was the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone used to come to the pub, which was the guarded inn.
Yeah. Well, you think if you had the one we just looked at, the armory, and then you look at the blacksmith set, you could build yourself a little village instantly with all these clipped together.
Village, yeah. Which goes back to the mock idea.
This is special. It's special for another reason. The fact that it holds a deep place in a lot of people's art. You can really play with this set. It opens up like a dollhouse, I believe, as well, from memory. It's got an element to it that how can I put it? It's an unusual shape as well, because of the way the stable is. You've got the first. I think this might be one of the first sets. You've got Black Falcons and Lion Knights together at peacetime. You could call peacetime.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the knight is a Black Falcon,
and it's clearly part of the Lion Knights as well, with the red and
exactly. So he's stopping off for a drink. Yeah. But yeah, this must be when they're not having grief with each other. You got little flowers as well outside.
The printed pieces with the sort of red Tudory.
Yes, yeah, very expensive. I think this was the only set that the red one came in, because you do get the yellow one as well, and other sets we'll look at. And then probably the Pierce the Resistance, which I haven't even mentioned yet, was the sign hanging down, the grapes and the wine.
Grapes and wine, yeah.
That is a very expensive piece. If you want to buy that, it's a good 50 quid. Even a broken one can go for 30 quid.
Crikey.
Yeah, just that piece alone. So it bumps up.
Simple, but yet not simple. Like you said, there was a lot of like clever stuff on this. It wasn't as straightforward, and the picture doesn't really do it justice, because again, I've seen it in the museum and I've held the actual original set. There's this one and the Legends version. You're
very much into build techniques, and the way you do the actual roof with the crow's nest in it as well was very clever as well. I thought for a set like this. very clever builds.
Yeah, because there wasn't much else like that then that you would build that way to put that on there.
That's it. Yeah, there's nothing like that.
The little headlight bricks reversed for like a upstairs window. It was just different. The blue door's simple yet works really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's open at the back, so you can sort of look in with a little chair and table. You've got a little stove there, haven't you, with the chimney?
And probably as young boys and girls, it's like, you can take the horse goes into the stable, and the night goes, I'll just have a cheeky drink in here, a bit like when your dad went out on a Thursday night to the pub with his mates.
For sure, yeah, for definite sure. And this was remade again, as we know. There's a Legend set down the line. Back in 2000, this was re-released.
Yeah. Probably number 2 on this, behind the original Line Knight 6080. That one for me.
Yeah, it's up
just
there
for the fact that I obviously had them. And
speaking of Legend set, is the second one. There's 2 that was released, and this was the second one.
Well, I never had this one.
I did, yeah. This was the biggest castle I had that we could afford, and it was probably one of my favourites. It's what like the 6080 did for you. This was my version of it. Slightly smaller, very different builds. Absolutely adore this set. It's Black Falcons, which was my favourite faction as a kid until I grew up and I started actually turncoat into the Lion Knight Crusaders being my favourite now. But yeah, I was very much Black Falcons as a kid, and again, you get 5 figures with this? No, 6 figures with this one. You get the printed piece at the top again, so we see the Lion Knight one that got printed, and in this one you got the Black Falcon. I think, trying to remember if this is the only set you get that in, or if there was a second one. I think there may have been a second set. Don't quote me on that.
That's the one that put the sticker on in it for the Castle in the Forest.
That's it. Yeah, he tried to recreate the Castle in the Forest, and then you got the panel, the yellow panel, so the opposite to the red one we looked at.
Yes, again, I can see why they went for the colour, because they'd already sort of settled on the fact that there was a yellow edge to the shield and a blue edge to the shield. They've now ditched the different flags.
The orange. Oh, sorry, the white and green.
Yeah, they've gone just for blue, and then they've got yellow across the front of the door, the little yellow arches as well, so you've got that hint of yellow through the castle. So they sort of ditched the red, and they've gone more. The only thing they interestingly did is the red plume and the red seat, which I found kind of strange that they went that way.
They mishmashed the before they had Bardings, there was very much mishmashing the saddles and the horsey colours.
Yeah, you could have gone for a black saddle and a black feather, couldn't you? Quite easily, and then you'd have had the black and the blue.
That's right.
But when you got a bit more colour in it,
when you had these sets all together, if you was a collector and you did, I say as a collector loosely as a kid, but if you started to build out a collection of these, you could mishmash everything together anyway. As you mentioned the other day, kids when they're that age, they throw everything together in the bin anyway. They're not going to have it on display like we would as adults. So this castle would have been amalgamated with another castle, to build a super castle and things, and then they would have had both factions together. Kids do things like that, don't they? So no, we're looking at it through adult eyes as kids, but I did certainly keep my castle separately.
Yeah, these days, if they did something of this thing, you'd probably be picking up a few of them, wouldn't you, and sticking them together?
Of course, yeah, of course.
I think Rich has got this one, hasn't he? I'm sure he's done it.
Richard does have this, yeah. I watched the stream, he built it, and we had a bit of a chat, nostalgic chat, yeah, and he enjoyed building it. Brought back some memories for him. Yeah, cool little build there. And it opens up again, pretty similar to most of the other castles. So you can add to it.
And that's what I based my my Black Falcons on, this design. What was it called? Also known as Castle Draker and the Black Knight. But look at that for the price.
Yeah.
So originally £25, which again would have been a fair amount of money back in '86.
Yeah.
That 1,032. Hell of an investment there.
Yeah. I would have. I remember going on the Argos book and circling it so many times. I actually made marks into the next page. Yeah, just so my mum would see that I wanted that for Christmas.
A bit of carbon scoring.
Yeah, carbon scoring and Naruto. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely up there. There are sort of iconic sets that set it the standard of everything. You know, that they started to build on those sets, didn't they, from this period of time?
For sure. Just before we jump in, I just want to say hello. Thanks for joining us, Lester. Afal.
Hello.
Nice for you joining us in the chat.
Oh, we picked up the set a couple of weeks ago, not built it. Oh, nice.
Nice, yeah. Now, I can't quite remember if we had these bonus packs in the UK, because I know they certainly had them in America, North America.
No, I don't think we did. If you remember rightly, we got them later on with Toys R Us when Toys R Us was big over here. We used to get the combined packs.
Yeah, so I used to buy my wrestling figures from Toys R Us. I don't think I ever bought Lego from now.
Yeah, they used to do a lot of the 3-in-1s, combined ones, but we're talking, 2000s plus, not with city sets, not when this stuff was out. So it was clearly something that happened in the other side of the pond, that they would do these bonus sets and combine them.
For sure.
Which is a shame we never got them, really, because...
Oh, yeah. There's a set there we've not got to yet at the top, which I love. But yeah, that as a bonus set, it would have been so cool to have that. Can you imagine having that now, brand new in box as it is?
Yeah.
That must cost a fortune.
Yeah,
if anyone has one,
as well, isn't it? It's very
that's what I mean.
Pack.
That would cost a fortune now if anyone
Medieval
had that.
accessories by Sears in Canada. Okay.
There you go, Canada.
Here we go. United's Arsenal.
There you go. Yeah, that was one of my favourite ones. Played with that for hours. I remember buying this with pocket money. Yeah.
It's dead interesting what they're using the sort of classic space tubing piece of all things to do.
Yeah, they use those in the Viking Voyager as well.
Yeah,
weird, it's unusual. Yeah, because I suppose it's a way of protecting. Because I'm not sure. This one come with a chest off the top of my head. See, mine are all all over the place. I can't really see from here. But yeah, they come with a chest. I'm sure that they come with a chest on the Viking Voyager, and that's where you hide the chest while it's on the boat, so it don't fall off the boat. But this one, yeah, you got the 2 swords on the back. And you get you mentioned it as well, the 2 choppers.
Yeah,
the chopper type axes in Lego,
which were the fireman ones, really.
Yeah, to have these in Castle was a bit unusual.
Better printing on the horse's head as well. This time, first time I've noticed to sort of change the.
Yeah, certainly got improved over a period of time. Lego got better, the printing got better. I don't think this articulated as well. This one, like some of the later sets, in terms of, if you move the whole cart moves with it, as opposed to the hulks moving separately.
There's no turntable or anything, is there?
No, it's very simple, basic, and it works. Brilliant set.
6.
Brilliant set.
1987. This was a cracking little set. Again, we're back with those little black pieces. Look, what's not to like about that?
This is adorable, this set. I know I'm using a strange word for it, but it is adorable. 2 little figs. And remember we talked about that piece with the latticing pattern on it? Yeah, there we go. It's so simple. Again, I bought this nearly brand new. It looked like it only come out of the box once. It still had the plastic packing inside. The Lego pieces come inside. Absolutely beautiful this was. And again, I had this as a kid, and I remember playing with it for hours.
Well, they've done the little blue bits underneath it. These were all like what they were using for the city speedboats. So
they were repurpose it.
Nice and simple, yeah.
You can look at it. I mean, you'd rather it be green or brown or whatever, but using blue, it still works. It's crazy. It's Castle, but it works. It shouldn't work.
The axe as a rudder.
Yeah, axe as rudder, and then you got the flag pieces as sails. It's crazy.
Two little guys. Very simple design.
Love it. Absolutely.
What was it? Does it say £2.50? Little £2.50 one.
Good little alternative builds to that as well on the back of the box.
Can you imagine paying £178 new for something that small?
If I had the money, I ain't gonna lie, I would.
45.
If I had the money. Yeah.
Here's one I probably had as well. I haven't ticked it off, but I'm pretty sure I had this one because I remember that red piece.
Yes. Yeah, I've got 2 of them.
That's got a hinge built into it as well. It's got half the hinge.
It has, yes. It opens up. Something very interesting in this one, and I'm not too sure why, but it's the first time that I can remember a Black Falcon actually coming with the red waistband. And
good
we don't know what signified that. If it was like a royal guard or if it was he had some importance to him. I'm not too sure.
It was probably to tie in with the red roof because they'll have only made it in that colour.
Yeah, I think the red roof come on a jousting set as well, which I don't think we got to yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
it might have been just somebody thinking, why don't we give him a red band so that ties it in? Could be as simple as that.
Some latest,
completely wrong.
Maybe it's because of as it's gone on period of time. We were on 87. I know that some more Black Falcons come with that red waistband, so maybe it's just time period as it's moving on. They're starting to add more to them to make them slightly different.
Well, another little unknown, well, probably is known nugget of information is that I can't remember where I read it or who told me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do go back and look a lot of early sets from this period, like today, the designers do the thing with the frogs where they put the frogs in. We also think there's a conspiracy with ingot pieces and bread loaf pieces.
Oh yeah, the ingot piece. I've heard that theory.
So they seem to be in everything. But if you look here, what you see is the classic colours of the black, the red, the yellow, and the white, and they seem to try and get it in as much as possible.
Yeah.
So when we're talking why they did a red saddle in the Falcon's castle, it's because they're trying to get the colours in every time. And this one's a good example of the fact that you've got the red and the white. So I wonder if that was another reason for the...
It's a good little fun thing if they are doing that.
Yeah, I won't put it past them.
If that Black Knight had a black saddle and a black flag, that would look quite frightening, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Because it's proper Black Knight.
Which is why I switched mine to a black, because I had the old... I don't know if it was what TV program or film had a black, was it wasn't the Black Knight, because that was later on, wasn't it? Was there a
Sword in the Stone, was
Black Knight?
Was it Sword in the Stone? Was there a Black Knight in Sword in the Stone?
I can't remember what he wore in Ivanhoe in one of the films, as well as whether he had somebody rode in on black.
Also, the Manting didn't look. He looked quite imposing. He was pretty much blacked out, wasn't he?
There was, whatchamacallit as well. What's the one with Heath Ledger in A Knight's Tale? There was the guy who was he a prince and he was trying to stay in disguise at the tournaments, and he was known as the Black Knight, and he was.
That's right. Yeah.
Black, yeah.
But what I also like, just before we move on, is it's something we've not paid homage to, and I don't think it gets enough praise as the helmet used. Now these are the helmet with the
these ones, the one that,
I love those. Not so much in the light grey color we get nowadays, but especially in the darker grey and the black, it looks so good. And I remember actually having a plastic one of those that I bought with a plastic sword and a plastic shield. My mum bought me from the local Laddin's Cave pound shop back in the day. Don't know if you remember Laddin's Cave. I don't know if you had it up north, but we certainly had them down south in London. It was like the original pound shop.
Yeah, I remember people speaking about them on TV programs and stuff, but I don't. We used to just call them Aladdin's Cave, I think. Right. Unless it was a seaside thing. There might have been some at the seaside.
Yeah, you could buy them at the seasides as well. Yeah, where you get the bamboo stick with the nets and that. But yeah, it's the exact same helmet, and I used to wear it to school and everything, fancy dress and that. I loved it. Oh mate, I loved it. Plastic swords. When you start beating your brother with it, it starts to snap at the hilt.
But what you like?
I know.
What I would like to see Lego do is give that a bit of a nod, but make that visor liftable. So bring back that helmet or the principle of the grills, but make the visor liftable.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'd like to see is, and they don't make. I've actually seen it once, and I don't know who makes it. It's a custom one. It's like what Henry VIII used to wear, and it's like. Have you ever seen RoboCop 2?
Yeah.
Know the geezer who's on drugs, Kane. And they make him into that knight-looking armor suit he wears. Yeah. He's got that knight helmet. The way it comes up, that part that comes up, the visor comes up, and then they have like a crown on top, like a built-in molded crown on top. Just looks so cool. I have to send you a picture. I'd love to see Lego do a helmet like that.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's so imposing looking. It's a bit like the Mountains one that the Mountain wore.
Yeah.
To that. It's really imposing. So it's just got like the visor at the front and it comes up. It's awesome. But a crown built into it, I think it'd look brilliant.
What's Mickey saying? Toys R Us is coming back soon in store concession in WH Smith. That'll be interesting to see what they do, to be fair.
Yeah, I think have they not already done that? Or I know they've been talking about that, Matty. Tim?
Some places maybe, but I know that like we've got like post offices in Smiths now. It's like Smiths seems to be
we
trying
have,
to stay afloat by having like multiple shops in it. So that's interesting.
Yeah, we have that in Bromley.
It's a bit like Tesco's with the entertainer stuff in them. That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that is strange.
Because the entertainer doesn't open on a Sunday, but yet Tesco's would, wouldn't it, and be selling their stuff? So it's a bit odd.
Yeah, it don't kind of work, does it? Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, cool set. Cool set. Cool enough that I bought 2.
He says now 9 trial stores planned. Oh, interesting.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah,
we
that
like that
goes.
one. That is one I would like to pick up again, but I know I definitely had it.
Yeah.
And this is what you're saying about the white tubes used again, which were rare to get in white, weren't they?
Very rare, and they didn't stay white for long.
Yeah, the material. That's why.
Very, what's the word? It's very rubbery. It just used to go horrible color. It's the same with the yellow ones you got in the space.
Yeah, there was
the
space used to get in between the little gaps. That's what it was. So
yeah, it's go all nasty in that. But again, this one's pretty cool. It's obviously a nod to a Viking style ship.
Yeah, it's a Longboaty type thing that they've decided to do. But it's interesting when you look at it now. You see, you've got 5 figures.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, you could almost army build with this, couldn't you?
It was easy, wasn't it, to get figures? You can imagine a few of these, 3 or 4 of these boats in the catalogue when they're riding in were just like amazing.
You get so many. Look at the shields. You get them as display pieces, as well as obviously they're holding them as well. So
that's what you're saying about them. Used the spears as oars. Didn't put any oars. So we've got an axe they can use as a rudder. We've got spears they can use oars through the little thing, easily posable.
That is, because the oars didn't really come out, I don't think, till the pirate sets, which would have been 89 onwards, wouldn't it? So
yeah,
this was pre-89.
Very underrated set, but probably quite up there in significance in the fact that, again, you've got the red, you've got the yellow, you've got the black, you've got the blue.
Yeah, and it's extended by just putting one on top of another.
Yeah, so I think I remember. I think I remember one of my friends building this longer and putting more men in it, just by having 2 of them.
Certainly can do that. Yeah, you can. You know, if you made it longer, you could probably do a little build out. Know where you've got the tubing over the top. You could make like a little shelter area, couldn't you? Put the maiden in or something like that.
Very clever set at the time. Like, again, there's no need to be as complicated as some of these sets are to be effective in what it did. And it would just, like you say, when you saw it in the catalogue and they had a few of these sort of sailing towards the castle, it just looked amazing.
Well, you remember I talked about continuity just before we disappear on it. Look at the flags. Look at what they're carrying. Is that to say up yours to as they go past the moat or on the river and they're going past the Black Falcons going up yours, starting another argument by saying, look, we've got your flag, mate. That's what I always visioned it in my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? But because it's not like you can unless, I suppose you could, in terms of if you're thinking it from a player point of view, you could only display the blue and white and pretend you're from a distance you're the Falcons, and then obviously when you get up close,
like in Dirty Dozen when they change the armbands. Yeah,
5 figures again. You know, that will have been about 750, 8, maybe less, 650. Now it's 250 quid. State badge. See, how can you call that a state badge?
Crazy.
Clearly, the Viking Voyager didn't hit home.
Yeah.
I was going to say before, I need to, one of the things I'm going to do is try and remake that siege, that early siege one we looked at in modernized with some cartwheels.
I've been planning on doing like a brand version of that siege tower for obviously future mocks.
See, I like the black ones because I like the fact that the woods, they've got obviously near a forest that the wood's quite black.
Like what they did with using the black trees for forestmen setting. I know you. I get you on that. This actually I prefer to the siege tower, the battering ram. It's still a tower, but it's a battering ram as well. And you get a tower.
Again, you've got everything here, haven't you?
Yeah, this you could play with for hours. It's one against the other. On the other set, it's just one faction. On this set, it's two factions.
Do you know what I like about it? Remember, is that you can swap it round. You can easily you can swap the flags around, and it doesn't matter because there's no colours on the walls, and you've got them attacking them and them defending there if you want.
They're saying we're coming for your flag to put on our Voyager.
Yeah,
boat, basically. That's what they're saying. Yeah, great set. Look, the archer on the tower shooting down on them. It's just so
did this
cool.
Move then? Did that battering ram move?
That did. Yeah. You can move it up and down. So it actually battens the door. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. It's so cool, this set. I love it so much.
It's a clever idea for a siege thing, isn't it? Multi-put dual purpose thing.
Mm-hmm. This is up there.
He's having a right good look, isn't he, over there?
It must have been frightening for the Black Falcon seeing that coming towards you.
Yep, again, see 3 minifigures from each side, cleverly done.
Yeah.
Little building that even if you didn't have any of the other stuff or you had a few of the little ones, you could then start building your own castle. You could just plug it in.
There you go, Technic pin there, ready for building into others. Yeah, exactly.
Printed pieces that you didn't get charged extra for.
Mm-hmm.
Good old days.
Awesome. Absolutely.
I wonder if there's anything with this sun, because the sun's in different positions. I wonder if they ever had a little in-house thing about different battles at the different times of days.
Yeah, it's interesting to think that. No, because we're seeing the box art here. I think it, like I mentioned earlier, if you look at the diorama pictures in the catalogs and you see the different hills and the different levels that the sets are on and stuff. I mean, I've got a couple of the later posters behind me from like the early 90s, which is a little bit later than this, but I do prefer the earlier dioramas and the earlier box art, if I'm being completely honest, from this era that we're looking at now in 87. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know if that sun plays some sort of, because they do, as you say, play little Easter eggs, don't they, sometimes?
Yeah, we only found out of them later on. We didn't really know they were still, might have been doing them then, but clearly they were.
Yeah, I like to think, I wish they did some proper lure that we could really follow, that everyone can follow, like storybooks. I know they brought out some stuff in North America, but I know there's fun that you can make your own lure up behind it all, which is really good fun. But it would have been nice to know what they were actually thinking, Lego, behind what they were.
I'm not even sure they were. I don't think at those days they had like stories in the head.
No, I mean, I know they did for the pirates for sure, but
there's that many different people working on different things that they just, I don't know. It depends. I suppose whoever comes into it suddenly goes, all right, I'm going to create my own story for this, and they'll go, yeah, knock yourself out. But as long as you produce the sets, we're not bothered. So that's some of them probably did it on their own time.
There we go. There it is.
It's a cracker. It's up there as one of the best.
And you can pick this up on the cheap for quite a good price, because there's a lot of them out there on eBay at the moment. So
yeah,
you wanted to get it. 5 minifigs. I still couldn't get the black plume. 6 minifigs. I stand correct. Yeah, 6 minifigs, and you get the black forestman, and you get the black plume. I have that one, but I don't have the black plume. Someone changed it for a white one, so I paid a little bit cheaper for it. But this set is, again, it opens up. You've got a tree there. You've got a cave. First forestman set. It's such a cool set. The little spruce trees you get with it.
It's just the whole concept, the idea of having the little cave that can lift up, where you can but you can get in through this side. It hinges on here, so you've got full access to it. Then you've got a little lookout. 6 figures. It's a lot of figures for a set of this size.
It's crazy. This is the one that my mum and my brother were building in that picture, and the nostalgia just looking at that picture comes back to me. Yeah.
Who did you think was Robin Hood then?
I thought, right, this is good. I thought Robin Hood was the all green one with the V-neck and the little pouch.
Yeah. It's this guy, isn't it?
Yes, I think that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all green. So he had green sleeves and a green top. He had the V-neck, which tied up, and then he had a little patch on the side of his belt. That's who Robin was to me. Who did you think? Would you think the same, or?
I can't. I tried to rack my brain. I can't remember. I don't know if I picked him, but I can't actually genuinely remember. I might have.
So I put him as Little John. I put him as Little John.
Yeah, I might have, with him having the spear. I might have swapped people around and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. But that's the beauty. You can make your own. You can choose.
I think
what
you're
you
right
want.
there, because he had green arms, didn't he? I think it was the colour of his plume that I didn't like.
It's very different. He was different to the others. The others all had the same torso. They all had the I don't know what they're called. Pelts? Is it the pelts?
Yeah.
The different color pelts. So you had the red pelts of the red arms, the blue pelts of the blue arms, and then the black pelt with the black arm. But you didn't get that with the other one. So that's what told me he was special. He was different. So he was Robin to me.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking with you. I think I just got rid of the
Hi,
plume.
Gaz.
I don't know if I gave him a brown hat and all, to be honest. I can't remember now.
Yeah, that's another thing didn't pick on. I forgot there was actually brown and green hats in this era.
Yeah, brown and green hats.
Yeah. Awesome set. All the Forestman sets are awesome set. Not one bad Forestman set. Well, maybe a few, which we might see later.
They run a lot of ads as well for this, didn't they? Like we said, we've got Robin Hood's Secret Cave. That's what I knew it as, not Camouflaged Outpost. And they'd run a lot of adverts for these sets.
They certainly did. And when the Robin Hood Forestman sets come out, yeah, they did.
770 look brand new.
Beautiful set. Yeah, you can certainly get that cheaper than 159 used.
And on to 88. And what's after 88? Because I'm thinking of time. There is an 89. When did it stop? Kind of stop this one.
89, 90s when you start to look at Black Knights, which we were introduced, and that you could probably say we could start that as the next era, maybe. It's all the same era, but you can break it there.
But they've already brought in here, look. Straight away, they've brought them in, haven't they?
They brought a Black Knight into the gel set. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see those white pieces at the top that we talked about with the red that was going on earlier?
Yes, we've got a new colour.
Yeah.
And now we've got a red. We've managed to get in the yellow, red, white, a bit of black.
Yeah.
All in everything again, like the logo.
The primary colours with the green, yeah.
Is this the first time for the horse bardings as well, then?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, they're saying this was actually 88, but I don't think it did come out. We're in 88. Yeah, so it did come out in 88.
88, yeah. You think you got the black... Yeah, this has got to be the start of the next era, really, so to speak. You can see the Black Knights there.
Mugs as well. I mean, I never realised they'd put the classic mugs in this. White, blue and red. I forgot.
Yeah, that's right. That. Yeah, the primary colours, yeah. It's not a set that interested me back in the day, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know why.
But it does now.
It does now. If I was looking back as a kid now, it's a joust set, the early joust set. So yeah.
Why did it not interest us as a kid? I wonder, because I'm the same. But this is a cracking set, isn't it? When you look at it now,
it is a cracking set. Yeah. As a kid, looking back now, I think I would have loved it, but for whatever reason, I overlooked it as a kid. I don't know why.
Yeah, I did the same. You've got 3 goblets. You've got tons of weapons, shields, loads of flags, and a whole little. I mean, you could play for ages with jousting, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's a proper
2 squires.
Set. Yeah, it's a proper scenic set where you can literally.
Yeah, it's a really good set.
Joust to your heart's content, really.
Yeah, it's not a bad set at all. That. Yeah, it's kind of one I've overlooked before. I've not really looked at it. What's it going for? 285 used. I presume it was fairly rare then, looking at.
Like I say, maybe it wasn't marketed as much.
Yeah,
possibly to us in the UK. Is why I maybe overlooked it a bit more. Here we go, my favourite all-time set.
Now, I must have had something like this, but I don't remember having that barding. But I'm not unless I've got that barding, I just don't remember. No, because I don't have those shields. So now I must have had something similar later on that they did They must have done this technique again.
It was one of the last sets that come with those shields because, as you know, they started to move away into print a bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was the last. I'm pretty sure it was one of the last. I adore this set. I don't know why it is. I don't think the catapult is the best build in the world of all catapults. It was good. It was dual catapult. You can, flip one and then flip the other. It was a bit flimsy. I just loved it. I don't know why it's, you got a soldier on a horse with barding, which was unusual because you'd normally put the knights on there. Yeah, I don't know why it is. I just love this set. I mean, I've got it here. I've got about 6 of these. I've literally got about 6 of these because I love it so much, and I can't tell you why. But the alternative build on the back as well.
Just hang on.
All the alternative builds can see.
Yeah, you can hitch the horse up. Look.
So you can do a joust on it. Look, joust practicing joust.
Yeah.
You can build a little cart.
Spinning thing going around. Yeah.
Look how you can build the cart though, even without having a specialist piece for putting the horse to the cart. It's the barrel on the back and that. It's so cool.
That was a hanging up one as well. Look, it's got the little handle.
Yellow studs on the shield just to change the shield up a bit.
Yeah. Almost like a chariot, isn't it, the way they've done that?
Yeah, so cool. Yeah, favourite set.
Of them.
I know. I don't know why. I can't tell you why it's my favourite because on the look of things, you can say so many other sets is better, but I don't know why this one resonated with me as a kid so much.
It's going to be worth fair much for the barding alone, isn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, that barding, yeah.
£286 brand new, look on there.
Yeah, I nearly bought one for about $220. I didn't, but I nearly did.
And then we get to the Forest Hideout, which I didn't have the original, to be fair.
Yeah, it was one of those that I thought everyone had, I remember talking to the kids at school and everyone wanted this set. It was one of those sets that looked bigger than it actually was. So when it was closed up, it looked quite small and nice and petite, nice sort of build. But when you opened it up, it looked like twice the size the actual set was. Robin's in it again in my eyes. I still think that's Robin.
That's what I liked about it. The white feather. I think the white feather looks better.
Yeah, much better. But it's definitely Robin. It's certainly Robin. But yeah, the little practice target board area.
The whip vine thing that he's holding, which is quite clever. He used to hang figures on.
It's a shame they didn't add them into the modern version that was recently.
No, especially when they still make it. They could have easily put it in.
Yeah. I
think I added some to my version of it. So
again, you could pick this up for a really good price, maybe about £25-30 if you're really lucky. £25, but £30-35 on eBay if you look around.
What was it called? Robin Hood's Tree Hideaway. That's how I knew it as.
Yeah, I know it's a hideout. I don't know if it's because the American names these are that I remember them as opposed to the British names.
Two little trees.
Yeah.
Again, good price for a set.
Yeah. Great set that is.
And then we hit the biggie.
Yes, the one castle missing from my collection from this era.
Will it go a bit bigger? Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one, this, because I didn't really pay much attention to it at all when I was a kid, and I don't know why.
My mate Robert had this. He lived like 3 or 4 doors down from me, and I remember him having this quite vividly and playing with it. But I never felt the need to buy it. Maybe because he had it and we used to play with his one. Why one person was playing the Commodore 64. I think it was Commodore 64 or Spectrum. I can't remember. It was years ago. The other one would be playing with it. So
I think maybe because the fact that it came out and it was black. I think maybe didn't resonate, but you know, it's quite a good villain's castle, isn't it, in terms of that? If you compare it to the grey.
The black panel piece is scratched up a lot quicker and it's a lot more noticeable, and it left thumbprints on it, like a lot of black Lego do nowadays. The oils from your skin and that. I don't know. It's nice looking. It's not a bad set, and you got some cool figs with it, some cool bardings and the horses.
It's a pretty brilliant set. Look at the amount of knights and stuff you get when you see them there, lined up on the scene. You know, I know this is the alternative build with the horses coming through and they're jousting and they're marching. It's I've got packed full of stuff, didn't it?
I think it was the first time we got the chainmail torsos as well.
Right.
I think it's the first time we got the chainmail.
There, have we?
No, unfortunately not. I'm sure we'll see them later down the line in other sets, but yeah. So it's got the actual silver chainmail torsos.
I wonder what made them decision to do the black as well, just like straight out of there. It's like, Black Monarch's castle, that's what we're going to do.
It's like a negative version of the castle we've seen, with the grey, with the little parts of black inserts, and then they've flipped it round and done it black with grey inserts.
Black Fortress. No, it's nails there, so... Yeah, it's one that I think passed me by, but is actually it's a lovely looking.
Great alternative build, isn't it?
Yeah. got lots going for it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Here we go. This is the one you might remember.
Yes, I do remember this one, and I don't think I ever bought it, but I do remember picking up some of these figures separately. Definitely didn't have the shields back then.
Well, look at the Black Falcons again, wearing the red bands. I think it's because they was moving on with the times and they wanted to change them up from looking like the earlier sets.
Yeah, but again, simple, easy castle minifigure pack. 2 forestmen, 2 falcons, a peasant, and a lion knights. Cheap little, like you used to call them, your pocket money sets. What's not to like?
Game with a Nolan picture on the back and the picture on the front. This is not really a good picture of it. There is a better picture of the actual box, the box art. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if there's one on Brickset, but there's a different picture.
Yeah. I cannot wrap my head why they just won't just do stuff like that again.
You tell me, mate. Yeah, you tell me. These didn't resonate with me too much personally. I told you about, I didn't think there was bad Forestman sets. Now, they're not bad sets. It's just not this one so much. There's a couple of blue wagons, which were Forestman wagon sets, which didn't, with the hay bales, it didn't resonate with me. This one was pretty clever with a peasant. So you could smuggle the Forestman in the back with underneath the bricks that look like hay bales. So this was actually a pretty cool one. But some of
an odd high use piece of those things that
the rails
realistically don't, the black bars don't go with a medieval setting. They're very straight off the space and city.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't have like 2 lots on there. You'd only have 1 if at all. No, like 1 either side, not 2 either side.
I mean, if he was underneath those bales and in real life, he'd be dead because they're heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they stacked him in a way he could sort of crawl in. But Robin again, and this time he's got a black plume. So he's had 3 different plumes now, hasn't he, Robin?
Yeah. He's trying to stay incognito.
He certainly is. But yeah, it's not a bad one, this one. But
no, there's not a lot to it, is there, really?
No.
I used £66. Again, it wouldn't have been one that's, North America only.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably why I don't really recognise it so much in the UK.
And this was redone. I remember knowing it was redone, but again, I didn't pay much attention to how good a set it was. There's a lot of them, isn't there, where they've redone them.
That's right.
See, I never liked this one. As daft as it sounds, I never really took to it. The River Fortress.
I had this, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Playability, it's actually quite boring inside. There's a little pen area where you can keep the lion knight in there, the one that's having a little jewel at the front.
Yeah,
I thought it was really cool with a little raft and everything, and it was different. You actually taken a Forestman set and you've hid it on the water, so you could now put like the oarsman on there to try and rescue the little oarsman boat with the 2 figs to try and rescue their friend, which is on his own. So you could come up with a story with this particular set with other blue base plates. But I do like this set, and it's obviously, if you look at it, you can see the castle and the forest in it. So
it's based on the 3, isn't it, together?
Front.
Yeah, it's just one that never really picked. I think I was too into the hideout one that I just didn't. Not the hideout, the cave one that I just was like, don't need another.
The outpost, the Forestman's outpost. Yeah. But yeah, this was the Holy Grail because this was like one of the biggest ones that we could get forest wise. Now, I do believe there's another forest set, the River Crossing, which I'm not sure, I don't think was in the UK. I think it's an American set. Not too sure if I'm right by that, but
there is a few in there that are not
especially the later Dark Forest sets, but we'll get to them back in they're in 96, so they're a good 10 years ahead.
We'll get way.
Yeah, on another episode. But
I do like the barrels used as the flotation stuff.
Yeah, I like this set. It's different.
Definitely done this. We're going to put the leaves around. We're going to grow it out. I wonder whether the red and white flags. I wonder if that's just about getting white in there again.
It's very flat. It's all grey at the back. It's very flat, but it opens up like a doll's house.
Yeah.
There's not much in there. Like I say, you can put stuff in there. You could put like a chest in there, a couple of chairs if you wanted to. There's so much you could put in there yourself. I like the little tree at the front as well, with the little guy hiding in there, like a little lookout sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, it's a good set. And
So
you got the draw.
You tried it out, and then I'll stick an arrow in your ass.
And it's a drawbridge as well. Not a drawbridge. Like a portcullis. It's not a portcullis. Like a drop door. So it's got like a little thing so you can pull the door up.
They did that in the castle in the forest, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yep. It's a nice set. And that's pretty much it. Well, and I think we're better off leaving it now because it's getting late. We'll be here all night if we.
I know. We can have a right good chat about this, and it's been good actually. I've really enjoyed this for the soul. It's actually been really good to look over these old sets again.
Yeah, we have like a little castle chats.
Yeah, love it. That's what got us really chatting, really, didn't it? You brought your nostalgia back for Castle again, which is really good to see.
Yep, got me building castles again. Gone mad now.
Yeah, probably madder than I am now. I've still got a line out castle and I haven't built it in a year. Talk about restraint, eh?
Yeah, I don't know how you've managed to not even open the. Well, I know you've opened the box, but not even just start bag one.
I know. It's just, I know it's sitting there ready for me to build. Maybe next year. We'll see.
So, yeah, that's it from us tonight. That's the episode 1. There's obviously loads more for us to go through, but we just we're just doing a few little mini SARs on different days, having a bit of a chat. The others we didn't even bother asking them because I'm sure they didn't want to invade on.
Yeah, no messing around. Just a bit of a chilled out Saturday night, wasn't it?
Late night. Me and Baz, bromance, castle talk. That's it.
Castle bromance. Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed it. You guys that have joined us, or anyone that's watching it back on Watchback. Yeah, looking forward to episode 2.
Can't wait. Thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care, folks.